Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy BVO Sports TV. I'm in the house with my right hand man. Y'all know him, y'all love him. The Puerto Rican Prince, D Free. What's going on, Free?
What's good with you?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. But let me ask you this, man. Before we get started, man, I gotta ask you this, man. Did you see that game yesterday, man?
Which game?
The
Which one?
Cowboy game. Well, no, not yesterday. It was that Sunday. Man, I was looking at the high. I mean, I'm talking about the Cowboys. The Monday Night Football game. My bad. Did you see that injury on my man Tyreek Hill? Man, that injury was nasty, man.
Oh no, I didn't see it. I heard he got injured, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, he ended up dislocating his knee, and he tore his ACL. Man, that's nasty, man. He's gonna be out for at least the rest of the year.
Yeah, he dislocated a knee. When you dislocate your knee, you're going to be out roughly about a month or so, and then you got a torn ACL. That's to add another probably 6 months on top of that. So yeah, he probably going to be gone for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so he got a lot going on, but we got to get into this, man. I don't know if you got a chance to see the Max Kellerman interview, but we heard Dana White finally admit what he plans to do in boxing. And the main thing he wants to do, man, is he wants to get rid of the sanctioning bodies and have his own thing called TKO or Furry. I think it's called Furry, if I'm saying it right. I don't know, but it's like it starts with an F, Furry or something. But he says he's not going to no longer recognize the sanctioning body. What you think about that?
This is what I've been saying. They want to start their own league. This and I've been trying to tell people it's going to be TKO versus the boxing. Everybody was like, oh, well, they can fight with the TKO, and then they can go over to boxing. That's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to have his own league, and it's going to be competing with the boxing industry. Um, it but the thing is how is he going to be able to get stars over there? Because right now more people are focused on the actual sport of boxing, and all of the stars are in the sport of boxing. So he's going to have to try to create stars for the TKO league, because with that going against um, another sport that's been around for over 200 years, it's going to be hard to compete with them. So I want to see how they do it, but I don't think it's going to be very successful.
I'll say this, man. The only thing that get me is I think Dana White really is gotten to this whole thing to kind of be the bad guy. And from what I'm hearing, this is just pure speculation, but a lot of people are saying Turkey is looking to control the media completely. And any YouTube channels that's looking to speak about him in a positive light, he's looking to pay money. I'm just wondering, when you see a guy like Bug Eyes, all of a sudden now everything Turkey does is great. You think guys like that are on the take? What do you think?
You said, do I see Dana White as what?
No, I said when you see a guy like Bug Eyes, all of a sudden now everything Turkey do is great. He has no problem with anything Turkey's doing. What do you think about that?
Um, it's hard to say. Because when you look at the situation, you got to look at it from two sides. We looking at it from the side that we stand on, and then you got to look at it from the side that he stand on. Um, I don't know. I mean, I just wish everybody can be straight up when they talking about what they plan on doing, what they want to do. If everybody come into the game with clean hands, we will have a better sport. We have a better situation. But these guys are always trying to find a way to get over. So you're never gonna have 100% up and up in anything because everybody's trying to find a way to get over.
Yeah, I just don't understand what's the problem and why he's doing this. Look at my brother T Hill. I just don't get it because I think no matter how you put it, and I'm gonna say something that I usually probably wouldn't say. These guys are conspiring against Tank Davis. And I didn't think so at first. Shoot to my brother B3. Shoot to my man Thomas Hill. Thomas Hill, we got the membership open, my guy. Only $2.99, man. Definitely join the membership. Join the family, man. Salute to everybody like Curtis Robinson. Salute to Angie, baby. Salute to Vacay Vag. Salute to Prize. Salute to my man Just Ags One. Salute to CDK. Salute to my brother TD Sports. Appreciate every member, man. I'm always shout y'all out because y'all believing in the brother, coming from a small place called Cleveland, man, and we doing it big. But I just think, and I didn't think this at first, but I think they really conspiring against Tank because I used to think it was speculation about the whole venue thing in Houston, but it's making more sense. We see it now in the music industry where you haven't seen a breakthrough star. Where this is the first time in many years you haven't seen any rap at a top 100. It's I don't know, man. I'm kind of nervous about Dana White because he just always has been a scumbag, and I don't think a scumbag can change. What do you say about that, three?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Dana White, you gotta look at him and realize what you're dealing with because Dana White is all about him. He wants to be the focal center of attention. He's never going to let the athlete make more money than what he's making. Um, and he's always trying to pinch pennies. Like when you look at the UFC, he monopolized the MMA industry to where they had to come to the UFC in order to make money because
Mm-hmm.
the other industries, I mean the other leagues wasn't as popular as the UFC. So you even though you wasn't getting paid what you thought you should get paid, you were still getting paid more than anybody else was going to pay you. Um, and he's trying to do the same thing when it comes to the sport of boxing. He wants to monopolize the sport of boxing, and he's bringing his own concept into the TKO. That's why I said they have they have stages of how much you can get paid. You're only going to be able to get paid a certain amount of money, even at the highest stage. You're only going to be able to get paid a certain amount of money. They don't want anybody making $30 million a fight or $70 million a fight. They don't want to see that. They want to bring in the most money into their pockets and pay out the least amount of money to the fighters.
What you got on that, three?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Dana. He's done some good things with the UFC. I think their model has worked for them as a company. I just feel like it hasn't always benefited the UFC fighters. I know they have some complaints and rumblings about wanting to, you know, receive a larger piece of the pie. I know John Jones was complaining about that, and the boxers they not going for it. A lot of the UFC fighters they have to come to boxing to get their biggest payday of their life. So I'm just a little. I want to see what the actual plan is. If there's going to be like a pay or a salary cap for these boxers, and then Dana White, see, he likes to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and he don't. It seems like he doesn't want a lot of the business out on the street, out in the forefront. And like when Sean Zattel kind of questions him about him already in a couple of lawsuits for his business practices, he wasn't so keen on answering the questions. He didn't like he was being pulled to the fire. So he has a lot to prove to the boxing public because we already got our eye on Dana based on everything he's done with the UFC and putting a cap on fighters' pay.
Yeah, that's a great point. But I'm gonna bring something up a little controversial. Let me ask you guys this: do you guys notice it seems like Turkey is kind of using his religion as a front to do bad business? Have you guys noticed that?
Um, I mean, it's always been there. It was always out there in the public. I mean, it's not just Turkey. It's pretty much everybody in the industry. But I do believe that he 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 hide he hides behind a facade. He says one thing, but behind the scenes, he really has a master plan to do something different.
Hmm.
And this was the whole thing when he got into the sport of boxing. I think when he first got into it, it was always his goal to either take over boxing or create his own league to be able to compete with boxing. I think that was always his goal. I think a lot of times when you see guys with the capital that Turkey have, they always have something in the back of their mind of what they really trying to do. They might
Hmm.
get in one way, but they looking for the bigger picture of what they really want to do. They just got to get their foot in the door.
Yeah, that's a good point. What you say on that, three?
Man, I mean, from my perspective, he got to be extremely careful because his favoritism is an issue. He showed that with the Hamza Shiraz kid and
Hmm.
Carlo Adam when they pretty much jobbed Carlo Adames in Saudi Arabia when he was putting hands on
My brother Ernest.
Shiraz. Yeah, salute to the good brother Ernest. Yeah, he was putting hands on Shiraz, and because Shiraz is a Turkey guy, he didn't get the decision. So, and even we heard Tank Davis, he had concerns about fighting in Saudi based on, the kind of the favoritism. Turkey calling Devin his guy. So Turkey has to be extremely careful. I mean, he may not change. That's his business, but from the public's perspective it doesn't look good when they feel like you may be the promoter or the financier of the event has a favorite and he's also bringing in the judge and bringing in the people that are working the event. So everything, and it's in his home country. So every eye is going to be on Turkey based on himself, based on that Shiraz situation. It showed a level of favoritism, and what we want a meritocracy in sports, but we also want a even playing field. So we don't want to see guys having an unfair advantage in boxing. That's the worst. That'll be the worst thing for Turkey. He'll get a lot of backlash if we ever see anything like that again.
Yeah, I'll say this though. Turkey, I'll put it like this: Turkey is up to something. I want you guys to watch the Terrence Crawford Canelo fight again, and I want y'all to really look at Turkey Sandwich, and you will see he was not rooting for Bud. He was not rooting for Bud at all. The fight, I think people had it 116, 112. I thought it was 10-2. I watched it again. It might have not been that bad. It might have been more like 9-3, something like that. But I feel like Canelo's got dominated in that fight. But Suit my brother underrated darkness
Mhm.
pulling up, man. I just think this, man. No matter how they play it, man. We see Turkey is playing games because he up there huffing and puffing when you see Bud beating the life out of Canelo. You see him grabbing the rag on his head. He looking up, he looking down. It's like, bro, if you trying to fix the fight, just tell us. Just tell us, man. I mean, they gave Canelo every opportunity in the world to win that fight. He just didn't. And when I seen the scorecards, to be honest, they were disgusting, man. They were disgusting, man. If you got odds, you ain't seen no 115, 113. There's no way. There's no way. But one thing about Turkey, man, he put that smile on his face. And let's be honest, there's a lot of brothers that participate in the faith of Islam, which is a good thing. And he used that against them, man. Just that simple, bro. You can't. Everybody that comes with a smile on their face don't mean they not, a wolf, man. I feel like Turkey's a real wolf, man. He really is. So I don't know, but let me ask you guys this. So moving on, I wanted to ask you guys about this whole Jake Paul Tank fight. Do you guys think this fight could generate as much as $100 million? What do you guys think as far as money generate? How much money can that generate?
You talking about the Tank Davis Jake Paul fight?
Yeah, how much money can that generate in your opinion?
Uh, it all depends on how much the casuals buy into this fight as a legitimate fight or a event. If the casuals buy into it as an event or a legitimate fight, it could generate a lot of money because I mean let's be honest, Tank Davis has a huge following and Jake Paul has a huge following. So if they can somehow convince their fans and their following to buy into the fight and then draw in some casuals as well to buy into the fight, it can create a huge bag. I don't know if it's going to create $100 million, but it probably come pretty close to that. It probably come with somewhere around 60 million, 70 million, somewhere around there.
Let me read this real quick before I let my brother B3 go. My man Ernest said the world is playing billionaire games. Some are athletes, some of us are in the service industry, some of us are the living goods, all for billionaires to get richer. Billionaire equals slave master. I ain't gonna say that, man. But what you got for me on that, B3? Go ahead.
I mean, Brother Johnson make a good point. But let me hold on, reframe the question for me, B.
My question is, man, when you look at what's going on in boxing, just in general,
Oh no,
do
you was
you
asking about the Tank versus Jake
no,
Paul
okay,
revenue.
my bad. I did. I was asking how much you think that could generate $100 million that fight? Because we haven't had a
So
$100 million fight in a long time.
now I'm gonna be honest, it is on Netflix, right? So
Yeah.
they're not gonna have a pay-per-view. Now I'm gonna say this. The last fight with Tyson, if I'm not mistaken, they did like 101 million like views, total views.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like the final. Now I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna do that many views because Mike Tyson is really like a kind of crazy global superstar.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one of the biggest. He's probably up there with Snoop and you know what I'm saying. Really super big guy, super big superstar. Uh, and Tank. I mean, we love Tank, but he's not on Tyson's level. So I think it'll probably do maybe like 60 to 70 million. I think it will do more views than Canelo Bud, but not as many as Tyson and Jake. And as far as like the revenue, the gate revenue should be ridiculous. I think they're gonna push the break. Well, it depends. Depends. I think it depends. I don't know if they're gonna be able to break Canelo and Crawford what they just did, because they just did over 50 million on at the gate. So it's gonna
Well,
be close.
you gotta remember they doing it in Miami, and Miami has a lot of celebrities out there as well,
Yeah.
and so they very well can do 50-60 million dollars at the live gate because those they got a lot of high rollers in Miami. So all they got to
Free, did
do
they
is just
choose a venue?
I
as
haven't
far as
heard
I
of it yet.
know, I thought they said something about maybe they were just talking about the area, but I heard something about Miami Beach. But maybe they were just talking about the area.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly where the venue is going to be at, but I know it's in Miami. So, like I said, Miami got a lot of high rollers out there, so they could. I mean, you can see seatings in the nosebleed wherever they put it at in the nosebleed for like $800, $900, like they did
That's a
with the
fact.
Tank versus Ryan. The Tank versus Ryan, the nosebleeds was like $900 for a nosebleed seat.
I'm
You know
looking it
what?
up now. Free. It's going to be at the. They call it the Kaiser Center, but that is, I believe, that's where the Miami Heat play. So yeah, so that's
No,
where it's
don't
going
they
to be.
play at American Airlines Arena?
Why they got the Miami Heat thing on
Oh,
here?
they must have changed the
They
name
changed the
then.
name. Yeah, they did. They changed before being named Kaiser Center. It was the American Airlines. So yeah, they just changed the name. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny how that goes. But you know what? You know what'd
Hmm.
be funny about this fight, man? I think people don't understand. If Tank go in there and knock Jake Paul out, I think he'd be the biggest guy in the world. I think this fight, and I also want to bring out some other stuff
Yeah.
that I heard that was good news. I think it's gonna change the game. But check this out. I want to kind of bring us past the Jake Paul fight because we all know that's a circus. What do you guys think about Gary Antoine Russell's name being in the hunt to fight Tank Davis? How would you see that fight going at 140, guys?
Um, it'll it'll be a chess match. I think Antoine knows what Tank Davis is about, and Tank knows what Antoine is about. They've been around each other. Tank Davis came up with Antoine's brother, and so they've been around each other. So they've been in the same gym together and things like that. So they know what each other is about. I think it's going to be a chess match. I think it's going to be. It probably end with somebody getting knocked out. Um, but I think it's a good fight. If that fight was to be made, I think a better fight will be somebody is one of Tank Davis' contemporaries. But I still believe that Antoine, that's a good fight as well. I don't think a lot of people had that on their radar as far as Tank Davis an opponent. I think they more so had Mr. Gary Russell as a possible opponent for Tank Davis, not Antoine. So I think it's a good fight. I think a lot of people um, will still have something to say about it, but I think a lot of people would like the fight as well.
What you got on the B3?
Man, that's a great fight.
That's
You
what I
know.
thought.
Yeah, that's an extremely good fight. I think, and that's what, and you got, and that's the fight I believe that. How do I put this? I don't know if it's Al, but we always see Gary Russell on tank cards or take undercards.
Mm-hmm.
We know that'll be a great fight for the DMV area and really for boxing. So you wanna have that because people don't think about Tank's last the like they people say his last two or three fights if he comes back to big time boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could Tank Davis retire from the sport of boxing? If he tires after Jake, that's fine. That's his business. But how could he come back and continue to compete at the top of the sport and not have a Russell name on his resume? Not Mr. Gary Russell or none of the brothers. I think that would be because you still gotta have that the big man on campus who's running the DMV, who's the top guy in the area. Now you can claim it, right? And just say I did this and I did that. But in boxing and with these guys, you gotta prove it. So I do believe that Tank before he retires, he will fight one of the Russell brothers. And right now it's looking like it's gonna be Antoine because he's a legit 140-pound champion right now. And if he can maintain the weight, I think that'll be a great fight for Tank to, fight for the full 140 title yet again.
So what I heard from a good source is what they're trying to do, free. And like I said, it's from a good source. They're talking about I think when Lamont Rose is fighting or Victor Cruz, not Victor, I'm not saying Victor, but Esau Cruz. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Pitbull.
if he fights Pitbull, they're saying that him and Esau, the winner would get Tank, or the winner would get Tank or Antoine. But what they want
Mhm.
to do is give somebody a title shot. That's kind of what they're trying to do because they kind of feel people don't notice, but they're trying to freeze Gary Antoine out. And if people haven't been looking at paying attention, he's been getting froze out. Whether Richardson Hitchens, who's just trying to freeze him out,
Yeah.
him and Tio are best friends, so I don't think they'll ever fight. But I just think that no matter how they play it, man, you can't stop success. And I think Tank versus Gary Antoine will be a good fight. I think if Tank is able to knock out Gary Russell, it'll really give him a huge name on his record. And I heard some sources from the Upton gym saying there's no way that Tank is going to retire. So shout out to the Upton, shout out to the seniors, shout out to my man Coach Squeeze.
Nice.
Word is that he's not retiring at all. Not retiring at all. So that's good news. He's gonna pay a couple of bills because what I didn't know is that Tank had this fight signed with Jake Paul before the Lamont Roach fight. So this was already in the works. I think they were supposed to fight in August, but Tank got into that legal trouble and slowed a lot of stuff down. But that being said, what happens if Gary Antoine can perform like he did versus Ryan and beat Tank? What do you guys think will happen if that happened for Gary Russell?
You said if Antoine was able to do what?
If Antoine's able to beat Tank, what does that do for Antoine? What do you say?
Oh, it boosts his career tremendously because a lot of people believe that Lamont Roach won that fight, but the what goes down on the record is that it was a draw. So they believe that Lamont Roach won, but he didn't actually win. If Antoine is able to go in there, and we speaking hypothetically if this fight was to happen, but if Antoine was to get the fight with Tank Davis and he was able to go in there and beat Tank Davis, oh, his career would most definitely get boosted because a lot of people saying that Antoine is one of the most ducked individuals in the sport already, and now he just went in there, he beat Tank Davis. He's probably going to be ducked even more.
Yeah, I'll just say this: that's a dangerous fight, and from what I'm hearing, Gary Antoine is salivating at the opportunity to fight Tank Davis, which I was shocked that was the case. I don't know. Were you guys shocked that this is a fight that he really, really wants? Because I think there's a chance he can get knocked out. So I don't know why he would want to fight like that because we've seen him struggle against Pulo, and I think Tank can do some of the same stuff that Pulo does, but even better. What you guys say?
Antoine is from a fighting family. They ain't scared of no smoke. They're gonna fight until they can't fight no more. So if you claiming that you're the baddest man on the planet, or you the baddest man in the area, or you the baddest man in the division, well, they want to show you that you're not. And so they ain't afraid of no smoke. They'll fight anybody. We already done seen it from Mr. Gary Russell. They'll fight anybody. They ain't scared of no smoke. So I don't. I mean, a lot of people probably would shy away from that fight and be like, "Oh, Tank Davis is a little different," but Antoine is not that type of person to shy away. He already called out every champion at 140, and nobody mentioned fighting Antoine. Everybody was talking about fighting each other. When they bring up Antoine name, everybody automatically, hey, that'd be a good fight. I like Antoine. That'd be a good fight. But they didn't say they would fight him. They just said that would be a good fight. But they was talking about they want to fight everybody else, but nobody want to fight Antoine. So Antoine already done showed that these guys are not moving the way a champion's supposed to move. And Antoine he's part of that cloth where if I say I'm the best, I got to go out there and prove it. I'm trying to get in there with everybody that believe they're better than me.
I'm gonna say this. I gotta give and three. I gotta give Gary a lot of credit. I gotta give Antoine a lot of credit because Tank can punch, man. Tank can punch and he can box. And we seen people don't want to admit this, but Pulo really did a great job outboxing Antoine. I just think that, and I don't know what happens because I've never seen Antoine get touched. I'm just wondering what Tank put him on his pockets. What you think happens if he put him on his pockets? Do you think he can stop Antoine? What you think, B3?
Nah, I don't see it. I definitely don't see him stopping Antoine. And that's respectfully now. And I got I mean, just to piggyback what Free was saying, just the heart of the Russell family. And when Free was talking, I was just thinking about that Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Gary Antonio fight, right? At 118, the super bantamweight fight. And well, what did they fight? They fought at yeah, they fought at 118. And he showed the most heart. I mean, he was getting beat, pillar to post.
Getting beat dead.
Did you remember that fight?
Yeah, he was getting beat dead,
And
bro.
listen, but he kept fighting. He didn't look for a way out. I think they ended it on a accidental hit, but that kind of just shows you that that's the Russell family right there. They not taking no for an answer. They gonna push the envelope. And listen, he took some tough fight. He came off of that and Alejandro Santiago fight and went right into the Emmanuel Rodriguez fight. Them dudes ain't easy. Them ain't no easy chew. They gonna give you some work. And Antonio showed that they got fire in them. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Antoine at 140, I think he's the most dangerous guy at 140 right now. And that it's easier fights for Tank than Gary Antoine. I think he needs to if he is going to return and fight at 140, probably be best for him to fight maybe maybe Africa, you know what I'm
Hold on,
saying?
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You see what he just did? Hey, Free, you see what he just did? You see what he just did? Now you trying to protect Tank? Tank want to have a tough fight. Let him have a tough fight. Why you always trying to stop
Oh, he
something?
called out. Oh, he called out Antoine.
That he didn't call him out, but that's kind of what that's what's quietly being set up. It seems like, and from what
Yeah,
I heard, that's one of the reasons why Antoine's on that card. They want to keep him on the same fight schedule.
I like that.
So I
I
don't know.
like that. Put
I'm
him in.
kind of
But that's
sick
what I'm
about
saying.
you
If you
saying
not
this,
going,
man.
if he, but that's what I'm saying. That's interesting to me. I guess it would make financial sense. I guess they could work out a package or something for Antoine, but that's not the biggest fight for Tank in my opinion. He could fight a Shakur. He could fight To. It's other guys that marketability wise it makes more sense. And for a tough hard fight like Antoine to get little, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, the DMV area, we're gonna give him a lot of credit and love for taking that fight. But the world and the masses, they still gonna after he fight a tough fight like Antoine, the masses is still gonna ask for him to fight a Shakur or Tio or Devin Haney.
I'm
If
gonna
he
put it like
beat
this.
if he beat
I'm,
Antoine, he
I'm,
don't have to fight none of them.
I'm gonna put it like
That's what
this.
you saying.
Uh,
That
That's what
ain't
they
what the
gonna
fans
say.
gonna say. Okay.
I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier, BBO. You said, "Do I think that Tank Davis can put Antoine on his pocket?" There's a possibility that he can put him on his pocket. Do I believe he will? No. Antoine, he got a sturdy chin. He's been rocked, but he's never faded away. Like even in that Rancis fight, Rancis caught him with a clean shot and rocked him. He still kept coming forward. He didn't back up. He kept coming forward. I don't know if Tank Davis is going to be able to hit him with a shot that puts him down. Because, like I said, I've never seen Antoine get dropped. Even in the amateurs, I've never seen Antoine get dropped. Antoine has always been that sturdy chin. He always had that sturdy chin. I think the better question is what happens if Tank Davis gets sat down? What does Tank Davis do? We never seen Tank Davis have to react after getting sat down. So I think that's the bigger question. If Tank Davis, the big facade around Tank Davis is he's the better guy, he's the bigger puncher, he's the better boxer. What happens if Antoine sits Tank Davis down? Because Antoine is definitely going to go for the kill. If he sits you down, he's going to go for the kill. So is
But
Tank
it's
Davis going
Tank
to be
though.
able to? It doesn't matter. We never seen Tank Davis have to get up off the mat. We never seen Tank Davis have to get off the mat. Like Antoine has all the chips against him, so it's more likely more people are going to pick Tank Davis to win that fight. There's going to be more. Antoine is coming in as the underdog. He has nothing to lose. He's fighting against a guy has a bigger name who most people believe is a better fighter. So he has nothing to lose. It's almost the same thing that Bud Crawford was going in. Yes, Bud Crawford was the better boxer, but they looked at Canelo as the bigger guy. He's been at 168 pounds. So Bud Crawford didn't have nothing to lose. The chips was against him. He didn't have nothing to lose. So, like I said, with Tank Davis being the favorite, being the guy that everybody automatically assumed was going to win that fight, what happens if Tank Davis get put on his pocket? Does he have the Does he have the heart to get back up and show you what a champion is built of?
he definitely got up when he had that grease in his eye.
I mean, yeah, but he didn't get sat down. He didn't get sat down. He went down on his own. I'm talking about he actually did his cock clean and he sits down on his pocket. He has a big baby Anderson moment. He gets sat down on his pocket. Does he have an actual big baby Anderson moment and keep getting sat down and don't know how to have a plan B? Because in that Lamont Roach fight, I didn't see a plan B from Tank Davis. I just saw a plan A, and we were just going to try to knock him out. I didn't see a plan B when he wasn't able to knock Lamont Roach out. So, does Tank Davis have a plan B? Everything. What I always heard from Calvin Ford was, "I want to see somebody to make Tank Davis have to go into his tool bag. I know what Tank Davis can do. He never had to go into his tool bag." Well, a lot of people said the same thing about Gary Answell. I don't know. He's a come forward fighter. He's a young Sean Porter. We don't know if he can box. I hear that he can, but we never seen him box. I kept telling y'all the man know how to box. He just never had to. And then he got in there with Arroyo, and they saw that shoot, Antoine can box. He can box.
Yeah, I think you got a great point. My only thing was the one thing that Pulo did very good is counterpunch. And I've seen Gary Antoine, like you said, he showed us a lot with El Rayo, but he hasn't really done a good job of having somebody really counterpunch him. You talk about Bartholomew. I mean, he was in no real danger in that fight. He had that fight won from the gate because the dude was scared of Antoine. But before we move on to this, I'll say this: that's an A+ fight. And if you fight that fight, I wouldn't be mad if he don't fight Shakur Sanchez or if he doesn't fight Teofimo Lopez, Teofimo Ho, whatever he calls himself. If you don't fight him, that's cool. But I think this will make up for the Shakur fight, though. So let me ask you guys this: so if Tank is able to win the title from the Pitbull Lamont Roach winner, would that solidify him to walk right to the Hall of Fame free?
What title? They ain't got no title.
No, they got a WBA.
Not a full title. I
No.
think Pitbull.
Oh, that's an
Pitbull got
interim.
like an interim,
That's
yeah,
an
the
interim.
WBC
Okay,
interim type
Yeah,
title.
no, they
okay.
ain't got no title because all of the titles are with Tank Davis, with Shakur, with what's the other guy?
They
At
fighting it. They
140,
fighting at 40 free.
they fighting
well,
at
at
40.
40, the champions is Antoine.
No, I
Uh,
said that wrong. My bad. I said that wrong.
yeah,
Antoine.
I'm about to say the champions
Eh,
is Antoine Tio. What's my guy?
yeah,
Matias and
yeah. I said that
Africa.
wrong. I said that wrong. What I'm saying is if Tank is able to take this fight off of Gary Antoine, would this put him in the Hall of Fame? Because really, Melo Yellow didn't beat two of the welterweight champions. If you think about it, he knocked out Rolly. He knocked out the IS. What's that Mexican dude's
Mario
name? Mario
Barrios.
Barrios. He knocked
Hmm.
that nigga out cold. So I mean,
Yeah.
Um, to be honest with you, I mean, in my opinion, I think Tank Davis is going to go to the Hall of Fame anyway. I mean,
I
and
would
that's
agree with
my
that.
opinion.
I would agree with
And
that.
that's my opinion because, like I said, regardless of how people view Tank Davis, they call him a three division champion. They call
Hmm.
him a five-time champion. So, and then you look at some of the names that's on his resume. Yes, he doesn't have the greatest resume, but he does have a lot of names that people do view as good fighters. He does have a lot of people on his resume that people view as good fighters. People view Pitbull Cruz as good fighters, even though we might not say he's that good. People do view Pitbull as a good fighter. They view Ryan Garcia as a good fighter, even though we might not say Ryan is a good fighter. People view him as a good fighter. They view Mario Barrio as a good fighter. They view Frank Martin as a good fighter. They view Yo-Yo Gamboa as a good fighter at the time that Tank Davis fought him. They view Jose Pedraza a great fighter at the time that Tank Davis fought him. Tank Davis that was the only fight that Tank Davis went in as the underdog. So he does have good names on his resume. So I think he's definitely. I mean, I ain't gonna say definitely. I think he's going to go into the Hall of Fame either way you look at it. And plus, he's a pay per view star. So a guy that can generate a lot of money for the sport, and he's a multi division champion and a multi time champion. Those guys are usually Hall of Fame guys. Those guys are usually considered Hall of Fame guys. So I think he's going to go into the Hall of Fame regardless.
Let me ask y'all this. So as I heard him called by my brother B3 Baba Yaga, what do you guys think about the American Dream Devin Haney going against Brian Norman? Because they had a face off, and it looks like Brian Norman from the bench and back and forth. It seemed like Brian Norman is still mad about the security guard grabbing him, giving him a t-shirt wedgie. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I
You say
mean,
that again? Say
nah.
that again.
No, I was saying you. I don't know if you've seen the face off with Brian Norman and Devin Haney. I mean, Brian was talking pretty crazy. He kept bringing up that security guard that gave him a wedgie, and he
Oh,
called
oh.
Devin everything but a child of God. Do you think Devin's gonna go in there and mess him up for the disrespect? What do you guys say?
You go ahead, B3. You was about to answer. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I think I'll be honest. I hopefully Norman Jr. He's not taking any animosity in the ring. I think it's just work. You know what I'm saying? He needs to have to take a workmanlike approach. I mean, he needs this tenacity, but he definitely don't need to be concerned about something that happened a few months back. But I think him and his father have shown to be absolute professionals. I mean, Norman Senior, and they're extremely confident that they're gonna step on Devin. So I'm excited for this fight. I just feel like Norman Jr. He's been showing the right temperament his last few fights. He's been consistently, you know, letting his hands go. And I think that's what he has to make sure he does against Devin. Don't kind of get caught up in the waiting game. Uh he's gonna have to cut the ring off because Devin ain't gonna be there to be hit. But just make sure that he continuously puts himself in position to land punches and let his hands go. And he gonna have a lot of success in the fight because as we seen Devin, we still got to see if Devin is back to himself because he definitely was on his bike against Jose Ramirez. So Norman Jr. gonna have to come with that heat, and I think Devin is gonna have to reciprocate it. I think it's gonna be some situations where Devin is gonna have to stand in there and fight with Norman Jr.
Yeah. I don't know. What I will say is I hope Brian Norman Jr. don't go into this fight emotional because if he goes into this fight emotional, he's going to get beat and he's going to get beat badly. That's the one mistake that you cannot make going into a fight, especially at this magnitude of Brian Norman's career, because this is by far the biggest fight he has ever been in. Um,
Yeah.
but going into this fight emotional, you're gonna take yourself out of the fight before the fight even gets started. You're gonna burn yourself far as energy wise and stamina, and you're gonna burn yourself by making dumb moves, dumb decisions. So he gotta go in here. Hopefully, this is all talk to try to get into Devin Haney's head and not how he's actually going to approach this fight. Um, because I want to see a good fight. I don't want to see a one-sided fight. I want to see a
Mhm.
good fight. I want to see a back and forth fight where we on the edge of our seat the entire fight and we don't know what's going to happen the next moment. But if you see a one-sided fight, you're like, man, okay, this man getting whooped. Ain't even no point in watching. Can somebody stop this fight, please? I'm not trying to see that. I'm not trying to see
Mhm.
that. I want to be on the edge of my seat, like, oh, Devin, you better watch out. He must. Oh, that was a great shot right there. I want to be on the edge of my seat because I think this can be the fight of the year if these guys come in on their A game and they give us the type of performance that they are capable of giving us. This could be the fight of the year.
And I'm gonna say this salute to my brother Prize fighter out of here, man,
Yeah.
all the way from Duckadelphia, my guy.
You
So let me
lucky.
ask you guys this.
Lucky I'm under the weather right now. I really.
Hey, little snowman, lay under your blanket and be quiet. We talking boxing TV.
Oh
But
shit.
the funny thing about it, man, I've been watching Brian Norman, and I can see what you're saying, how the feints and the jab. But let's remember this: the Mexican 9 times out of 10 usually loses to the slick black fighter. And I'm telling y'all, man, the thing that y'all missing the most on this fight is very simple. This guy, Devin Haney, is really good at sticking to a game plan. And if the game plan is very simple, you just box. I think he should move around like he did against Jose Ramirez. That was a great boxing performance. It just wasn't my type of boxing I wanted to see. But I can be honest and say that was a beautiful performance. He barely got touched versus Ramirez, and he was touching Ramirez because Ramirez had a bloody nose and all that, bro. It wasn't like he wasn't getting his head whooped. He whooped on Ramirez. So let's not play like he didn't go in there and do it, man. And we talking about Black Jesus, man, young Devin Haney. And Devin's not my favorite fighter by any chance, but I'm telling you, he's gonna go in there, he's gonna hurt that boy. And I want all you people who talking all this stuff, and Brian Norman's my guy. He just can't beat Devin. Like Adrian said it best, you can't win. It's just what it is, man. When y'all see this fight, look for
Man,
Adrian to say you can't win.
I could have sworn I heard the same tape about 3 weeks ago when we were talking about another fight by the name of Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. I could have sworn I heard that same tape.
Hey, we gonna get some of the takes wrong. We call all the fights free. We can't get them all right. You didn't got some.
Hey.
You didn't got some wrong. I know you didn't got
Yeah,
a
I
few
did,
wrong.
but I'm not gonna sit here and say that the man can't win. This is a boxing
That's
match.
crazy.
Hey, what's that old Vince Young song? Vince McMahon song. No chance. That's what you got. No chance, bro. You're not gonna see a Mexican beat no slick black nigga. It's just not how that works, man.
Hey,
Slick
like
black
I said,
niggas always win.
I'm not gonna say that Brian Norman can't win. I'm not gonna say Devin can't win. Like I said, I want to see a hell of a fight.
Hey, salute to my brother John and my brother T, man. He said that's not the game plan he should use. BVO Ramirez threw basically no punches and failed to cut the ring off on multiple points. Well, make Brian Norman cut the ring off because don't come up to him so he can punch you. Stay on your back foot, jab, boom, 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 jab, boom, boom, boom. And I think he could style on him. I think he could be very Floyd versus my man. What was my dude's name from Canada? Dang, I always mess his name up. What's the dude from Canada, y'all?
Canada?
Yeah. He represented Canada. The one that Floyd fought. He fought out of Toronto all the time. No, not Canada, Jersey. Out of Jersey. He fought out of LA City. Arturo Gotti. Yeah, I think he's from Canada, but he used to fight out of Jersey. I'm telling you, if Devin let his hands go, he could really, as Roger would say, he can go in there and knock the mofo out. He can knock that mofo out easy. And I'm telling you, man, this is an easy fight, man. Y'all really should be seeing Devin cherry picking on this one because he about to smash this kid. He about to smash him. This is Devin Haney, man. And when Devin Haney, win and become 3-time champion, I hope people give him some love and don't say, "Oh, Brian ain't nobody." I hope they don't do that.
No,
You cut off, Free.
hell, if he lose,
He
don't
breaking
say
up,
that.
Freezy.
My bad. I said I hope you keep the same love for Devin Haney if he lose. I don't want to hear you coming back on here talking about, oh, Devin Haney is who we thought he was. He's a guy that can't beat nobody in 5.
Oh,
I
that's
don't want to
crazy.
hear that. I don't want to hear that. Keep the same love for Devin Haney you got right now.
Hold on. What my man Danny Green said? Y'all want to crown him? Crown our actors. Crown him. Yeah, y'all want to crown him? Crown his ass. That's all I say. Y'all want to crown B. Norman Jr. That's my guy. Crown him. But we talking about, as D. Free call him Baba Yaga, man. We talking about Baby Haney, man. This dude can fight, man. All them baby Mayweather-like moves. He even try to stutter like Floyd. We gonna see him put a show on, man. You know what would be nice? If he would just let Ben Robinson do his thing, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would really be. I mean, Ben Davidson. My bad, Ben Davidson
But
doing
they
camp.
got
That would
mad
be.
trainers, during throughout the camp. Bill is just the face in the corner. Devin probably more comfortable with his father in the corner than anybody else, But I would like to see it, one of them dog trainers get in there with him too, though.
Yeah.
Sure.
What you got? What you got for me, B3?
T Mac said, "My question to BVO is how did you have Ryan beating Devin but not Brian?"
Um, the reason I had Ryan win is because Ryan for a long time would beat Devin up in the amateurs. And I figured in my humble opinion that he had him figured out. So that's why I thought that. Did it happen like I thought it would? No, but that's kind of was my thought. My thought was there's no way he'll be able to compete with somebody who's been known to kick his ass and know how he's gonna fight. And if you think about it, he knew all of Devin's tendencies too, man. It wasn't like nothing that Devin did. You didn't see not one time Ryan struggle anything that Devin did. No corrections, no nothing. Everything he did, he knew was coming, and he just was able to go beat him up. But I seen Brian struggle with people like Buka Chica. Buka Chica was putting hands on him, man. We just got to call what we see, man. I think too many times in boxing, we don't do enough of telling the truth, man. At some point, we got to tell the truth and say, you know what? I don't think he can win this fight.
You
I
don't
just don't
think
think he
that
can win it.
Brian can win?
No, I don't. I don't think he can win this fight.
He definitely can win, but I lean toward Devin with the experience and the
So
everything else. But
what's the point of fighting people like Lomachenko and all them guys if you know for a fact that you about to fight a guy who hasn't fought them kind of guys. Experience does matter, man.
yeah, for sure. I
I
think
don't know.
Devin will be fine though. I think
I
it's gonna
mean,
be a good fight.
if that was the case, then I mean Floyd Mayweather wouldn't be able to beat Oscar De La Hoya because he ain't fight the level of guys that Oscar De La Hoya fought. I mean, if that was the case, then Bud Crawford wouldn't be able to beat Canelo. He didn't fight the guys the level of guys that Canelo fought. That's not always the case.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I just don't see him winning, man. I could be wrong. I just don't see him winning.
Yeah, I don't mind either one of the brothers that win. Cool. Whoever lose, I'm still riding with them. Still gonna rock
In
with
my
Brian. Still gonna rock with Devin.
in my opinion, I think this is a true 50-50 fight. I
Yes.
think it's a true 50-50 fight because, like I said, a lot of people don't give Brian Norman credit for the footwork that he has, the ability to cut the ring off. They only give Brian Norman credit for the power. See, this is what I don't like about a lot of fans because at first, when Brian Norman was fighting these other guys, we people saw the footwork, people saw the boxing ability. But now that he's about to fight Devin, oh, he don't have boxing ability like that. He don't have good footwork. He ain't gonna be able to cut the ring off. But I didn't have that assessment when he was fighting other guys. I said he had great footwork. He had great boxing ability. Now because he's fighting somebody who's a higher level, now all of a sudden he doesn't have that ability no more.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know,
kind of
man.
crazy.
I don't know. But let me ask you guys something that I've been kind of getting. That's kind of been I've been hearing a lot. What do you guys think about people saying the reason Canelo lost is because his elbow was injured? What do you guys say about that?
I never heard Canelo say that. So if Canelo didn't complain, why are we? He got in the ring and Terrence Crawford boxed circles around him. Simple.
He said resumes don't win fights. They never have. So did Devin beat Loma? He wasn't experienced in that fight. Like genuinely, how does Devin fight Brian on the inside? I don't think he'll struggle fight Brian on the inside. I just don't, man, because
That's not
Brian
where
is
you
not
want to be at.
that's not
what it showed me. It showed me that he's scared to take a shot because he still has that Ryan Garcia fight plan in his head. So can Brian Norman piggyback on that and feed on that and make Devin Haney run the entire night? Or is Devin Haney going to say, you know what, at some point I got to stand my ground? That's what I'm looking at. I think a lot of people are just looking at what Devin did to other guys. No, you got to look at what Devin did in his last fight. His last fight, he showed you he was scared to take a punch.
That didn't show me that he was scared. I felt like he was just a little what's the word? Unsettled. I feel like
Exactly. He was scared to take a punch.
I don't think he was scared to take a punch because Ramirez didn't do anything. So
No, but what we said, we never seen Devin Haney fight like that ever before in his career. Anybody else that was when Devin Haney before that Ryan Garcia fight, if he would have got in there with Jose Ramirez, he would have jabbed Jose Ramirez the entire time. He would have sat right there in the pocket and made Jose Ramirez miss and continue to jab him and turn him. The Devin Haney we saw was a Devin Haney that was not trying to take any shot. He didn't want to take no shot. That man was moving around the ring like he had some great lines in his system right before he went out there in that ring.
hey, but if that same Devin comes out, that version of Devin is super hard to beat. If he go out
That
there and
version,
jab and move like that, I don't know if Junior gonna be able to keep up.
I think that version of Devin is easy to beat because if Brian Norman is a fighter that he's not going to do what Jose Ramirez did and not let his hand go. Brian Norman ain't scared to take a punch. He'll take a punch while he's giving a punch. He ain't scared to take a punch. So he's going to let his hands go. He's not going to do like Jose Ramirez. But I think that Devin Haney, they might say, hey, this man ran the entire night, but this guy was punching the action and he was landing shots. He was making this man run. I think they're gonna start to lean towards Brian Norman. I think that version of Devin Haney is easy to beat.
I don't know. Shoot to my brother Cam J pulling up. I'm gonna just say this.
Cam.
I'm gonna say this, man. I get what y'all saying in this fight. I think it's gonna be a close fight. It really is a 60-40 fight. I'll just say this. I hope
We didn't bet who won. We would just bet that nobody would get knocked out.
Yeah, and I bet that Lord was gonna knock Danny out, and I said, nah, he's not knocking Danny out. He might win, but he ain't gonna knock Danny out. I said, nah, he gonna knock him out.
He made that nigga
And
quit.
so enough, made that
Man,
man say,
he was in there crying, bro. That was the part that had me when he was in there
Uh,
crying, dog. I couldn't
Angel,
believe what I was seeing.
Angel pulled him out. He had looked at
Yeah.
Angel, and Angel said, "Nah, bro, we're
yeah,
gonna call
I
it
Put
think
off."
that nigga up out of there, three.
I think
Yeah.
this is the era of the comeback. You got all these guys want to come back to boxing. You got
Hmm.
Jamel and Jamal and Earl and Keith and Floyd and Manny. All these guys want to come back to boxing. It's the year of the comeback. Everybody trying
Hey,
to come back to boxing.
and it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what EJ tweeted out. He was like, a lot of us, or people be forgetting what it's really about, which was getting to the money. And he said, when you have to come back for a fraction of what your worth is now. So that's why, kind of EJ was alluding to coming back and fighting now, while people want to see him versus trying to come back 5 or 6 years later when he's 44, 45 years old, and he only gonna get a fraction of what he could make now.
Hey, just like I say for my man Vladimir Klitschko, who say he want to come back. Bring your ass back or don't.
Yeah.
It's just that simple, man. Do it or you don't. I don't even want. It's still Team Man down, but man, I don't want to see EJ fight again. It's been too
Mm.
long. We going on 3 years now.
Hey,
You've been out the ring.
hey, the only
Yeah.
person I've seen that stayed out of the ring and come back after 3 years layoff and look like he hasn't missed a beat is Mr. Gary Russell.
Yeah.
That's the
And
only one.
Mayweather took some time off and he came back and dominated Marquez.
Mayweather
I
took
don't
a year
know.
Took
off,
on
but that was
18
That was a
months.
year.
that
Hmm.
that was that. It wasn't he took a year off. It was he was put away.
Yeah.
Free. How many years? How long was Sugar Ray Leonard off before he came back and fought Hagler?
3.
3 years.
See,
3 years.
yes, and he wasn't even as sharp as I watched that fight the other day. He wasn't even as sharp as Mr. Gary was.
No.
No, no,
Well, he
no.
was fighting somebody good though.
Mr. Gary had a
Yeah, that's
hell of a
true. But he,
performance.
he was
See, Mr.
boxing though.
Gary was fighting a dead body, man.
I don't care who he was fighting. The man ain't fought
I
professionally
bet,
in
I
years.
bet, I bet, I bet you can't beat that dead body that Gary fought.
Hold on, I'm not no boxer. I'm a commentator. I'm a
Okay, so
commentator, a journalist.
you can't sit here and say that man's a dead body. You a commentator. You are literally a dead body that speaks.
Like I said, he went in there with a dead body and did his thing, man.
Hey,
Just
but
on sports news, man. Let me shout out my man Steph Curry signing with the Warriors. Shout out to Jonathan Kaminga.
enough to, undefeated middleweight champion of the world. You got a guy that didn't come out and fight for 2-3 years. He comes out there and flurries at the end of each round. He did have some success, but if you look at Hagler's jab was working, a lot of things was working for Hagler in between them, some of them rounds, bro. But I mean, I watched the fight probably on my lifetime, probably about 20 times. Sometimes, most of the time, I got Hagler winning. Sometimes I can see Sugar Ray winning. This is one of them things, man. That's why the fight was so great.
I'm gonna tell you what I looked at the end of that fight. I looked at how swole Hagler's head was. His entire head was swole.
Yeah.
That man Ray swole his face.
Well,
his
Free, you know Hagler was known to bust up and swell up easily. That don't mean anything.
Hey, I'm just saying that man was. For everybody that said that Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't doing nothing but some little flurries at the end of that fight. Those little flurries was some hard punches because Hagler was swole at the end of that fight.
Yeah, he swells up and busts up out every fight though. That he's just one of them. He's just one of them fighters. Pardon me. He's just one of them fighters with that. What is called that? Not so good scar tissue.
Shout out to him for eating the spread before he did. He must have had his noodles.
Shout out to my brother.
Summer sausage. He must have had all that. Salute to my brother.
He said, "Go Dead Sox." I mean Red Sox.
Hey, go Guardians, man. Salute to the Guardians, man.
Let's go Phillies.
Yeah. I think we lost to the Tigers, I believe, but we got tomorrow. Shout out to the Guardians. We need to call them shout out to the Indians, man. Let's go. But I'll say this though, no matter how we play this boxing, man, I'm gonna tell you something that people don't realize, man. We gotta focus on the next generation, man.
Yes.
There's so many good fighters coming. We seen Abdullah Mason get put on his pockets twice. And you see, I think that made him a better fighter.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you this. Emiliano Vargas has to get a step-up fight. He has to get a step-up fight. He cannot keep fighting these dudes that work at Max's Cheesecakes or that work at Ben's Chili Bowl. That's not a qualification, man. We got to get somebody who can really fight. And speaking of step-up, man, do you guys think we'll ever see Emiliano fight a former champion or one of the current champions at 140? What do you guys say?
We was breaking that down earlier. We want to see him get in there. There's some guys, I forget the names. I would have to pull them back up, but there's some guys that I would like to see him in there with, just to see where we at with him. The kid is, what is he, 21, 22? How old is he? He's 21, I think. He got 15 fights, So people's already like, oh, well, this, that, and the third. Well, let's just see. The kid got 15 fights, bro. He's 21 years old, so let's just see. Now, I do, like we said earlier, if he comes in and fight, once he take that step-up fight, BVO, there's no going back. You can't go fight, a certain caliber of fighter, then you go a step back or 2 steps back in the next fight. It's up from there. That's the only thing. So when you put him out there for that first time, there's no turning back. That's the only thing. But I think he'll be all right. I think we should give him some time. He's 21. We giving all the other 21-year-olds time. We giving Abdullah Mason time. He's moving. He's on a fast track though. But so I say give him some time. He's only 21, bro, with 15 fights.
I think he's gonna be the next Jaime Magia. That's what I think. I think they're trying to pad his record, and I think they're gonna finally put him in a big fight when he gets somewhere around
40,
30, 40 fights. He's gonna get like 30 or 40 fights. They're gonna finally put him in there, and he's gonna get beat up. That's what I think. I think they really trying to pad his resume right now.
I think for his family with that pride, I think they're a prideful family. And, Fernando himself was doing crazy stuff at 21, 22 years old. You know what I mean? Crazy stuff. Like fighting Trinidad, which was crazy. I just, but I don't know if they're going to move him like that. So you might got a point with that one, Free. But I feel like the kid I don't know. If they move him like McGee, that's going to be crazy. That bug going to be 40 by the time he fights somebody. That's going to be crazy. That could very well happen because think about it. He only dubbed one. You know what I mean? So how many more of these soft touches he going to get? At least, 6, 7 more? Make him 20, Something like that. So, Yeah, you're right, T-Mac. He said,
they're gonna start giving him some guys that have notable names, but they on their way out. That's what they're gonna start doing.
Yeah, so that'll beat up on some of them gatekeepers.
That's what they're gonna do. I don't even think it's gonna be a gatekeeper. I think it's gonna be guys that's on their way out. They got like 2 or 3 fights left in them, and they're gonna start feeding them to Miliana to say, oh look, he beat this guy, he beat that guy. Well, that guy was on his way out the door. He was literally he had a foot out the door to say, "Hold on, we got one more fight for you," and he walked back in and took the fight. That's what they're gonna start doing.
What about
That's cool.
a couple of future
Because
Hall of
I mean,
Famers like Jorge
you gotta
Linares?
understand who this promoter is. This promoter is Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar
Right.
De La Hoya.
There is no going back.
Because
He's
that's
not
what
ready
I
to go
mean,
back. He's not ready to go outside, y'all. Better yet, he's not ready to jump off the porch yet. I'll say it like
no,
that.
but see, they trying to push him as a superstar. Well, you got to start fighting like you want. They trying
Yeah,
to put
that's
him
what I'm
out there
saying.
like he's a superstar. You got to start fighting like one.
I don't think he's ready for that yet, though. Free. I don't think he's ready to jump off the porch yet and get on the block yet. He's
Well,
still he's still in the he's still in the porch.
they need to slow down on the trying to promote his name as a star because I'm not giving nobody no credit for fighting a bunch of showcase fights. It's all right to have a showcase fight here and there because you're trying to draw the fans in. That's fine. It's okay to have that.
once.
But at some point, we got to see the level of competition step up.
Yeah,
You got to
Yeah,
step
that's
the
a
level of
fact.
competition up at some point.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to see
think
it soon too.
once he fights a former champion, like you saying, it ain't no going back.
Yeah, ain't no
So
turning back, boy.
so Marky was right with what he was saying. I think a Jorge. I mean, if they could bring. I know Jorge Linares hasn't fought in a long time. Maybe they dust Jorge Linares off. Maybe sometime next year he fight a JoJo Diaz or not even maybe even a Richard Comey. Richard Comey would be a good fight, but once he does start getting in the fights with those type of guys and they paying for those type of opponents, it ain't no stepping back.
I'm glad you said what Brother Hatchet just said. Because look at Jalil's 21, 20, 21, 22, and he's calling for a champion. He ain't trying to be stand down there right
Yeah, but he's fighting.
amongst
That's
them
a
contenders.
contemporary though. Free. They're pretty much the same age. That's a little different.
No, but what I'm saying is he's asking to fight a champion.
Yeah.
You don't see that from Emiliano. You don't see that.
Great point.
That's a good point. I mean,
You
well,
have
yeah,
to.
Jalil's one of them kids that's, that's why I said boxing is in a
Well,
safe. It's
what
it's
I'm
in
saying
safe
is,
hands, bro.
all of the 21-year-olds have stepped their competition up, except for him. At some
Mm.
point, we gotta call it for what it is.
You're right. And at least Jalil has the right mindset. Like, bro, I'll go anywhere. Let's get it. Let's fight.
I
That's why I
mean,
said boxing's in
100%.
safe hands. We got Jalil, we got Abdullah, we got Antoine,
and and,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Young
and that's
Scooter
the thing. See,
Davis.
Scooter.
he comes from a fighting family, so it
Right.
shouldn't be no excuse for him not stepping his competition up. He comes from a fighting family.
A savage fighting family too. Like, cause his daddy a savage. Win, lose, or draw. He fought the three
Yeah,
his best fights. He's one of the few that beat Winky Wright, bro. Winky Wright was tough, man. People didn't think
I
he
mean,
was gonna win that fight, but I didn't think he was gonna. I thought it was too soon. But
yeah, but as I
Now that's
say,
what they say about his career, though. They say that Fernando,
he was a
they
savage,
kind of
bro.
pushed him a little soon.
That wasn't them. That was him. It wasn't them. It
Well,
was him.
yeah, because I mean, he definitely took on the tough fights, but
People thought he was crazy for fighting Trinidad, and he paid for that too.
yeah, big. I mean, but Big G, they supported him in those decisions. Let me ask y'all this, and Free and Prize, do y'all feel like Fernando is protecting Emiliano to kind of make sure that he doesn't push him
You
fast?
going in and out, Brody.
Yeah, you went in and out. You said it's Fernando protecting him.
I don't think he's
Uh,
protecting him. No.
Well, no, I'm just
I
making
don't
sure they don't make the
get
same
his
mistake like
defense
this dude
Now
with
together.
maybe he's being a
Lopez.
little cautious, B3, like because what we just said about how his daddy was. You know what I'm saying? Well, fighting
Look how
Oscar and
Fernando
Trinidad
Jr.
was
look.
just crazy.
I don't know if it's Orlando or if it's Oscar. I don't know, but one of them are being cautious.
Yeah, somebody's being
He would
cautious.
top rank. He would Bob Free
Oh, that's right. He
Emiliano
with
with
Bob.
Bob.
I think
Mhm.
he's with
Damn, he
Oscar.
is with. Oh, okay. I thought he was
I'm
Oscar.
thinking he's with Oscar.
Yeah,
Ain't
they
No, he
nobody
spent
say
crazy.
the
nothing.
Bob is
Well,
spending
in
money
that
too,
case,
man.
then it shouldn't be no reason why he ain't fighting no stiff competition. Everybody
Yeah,
else is.
No
great
what?
points. Yeah, but ESPN Top Rank put you in tough, BVO.
They put you in a
Yeah.
blender. No, no, no.
Ain't no,
PBC put you in a blender. Top rank will
Nah.
hide you. They
Top
matchmake
rank.
well though.
No, they matched the best in the game. That dude
no.
that
I'm gonna put it this
Emiliano
way. I'm
fought.
gonna put it this way. You tell me who's more likely, or who you would have thought is more likely to get the opportunity to fight for a championship fight just off of name recognition and their background. Emiliano Vargas, who comes from a fighting family, whose father fought a lot of the top name opponents
Mhm.
in his heyday, or a Jula Mason.
Who would I thought would get the better fights?
Who you thought would have been in position
Look at that Box Rex top heavyweights. The way they rank in this system is crazy, bro.
I wouldn't say that because I did see Frank Sanchez beat the life out of what was that dude?
A Jogba.
A Jogba, the fake Deontay Wilder. He beat that nigga dead.
Like I said, Frank Sanchez ain't too far away from Dillian White.
Brother Bernard, what's going on, man?
Frank Sanchez is ranked number 20 according to BoxRec, D3 in the heavyweights.
The most notable name that's on Frank Sanchez's resume
Jesus.
is F.A. Ajaba.
Bro, they got Luis King Kong Ortiz still ranked and Kubat Pulev.
He just won. Well, you know, Pulev just had a fight with what's that dude that tried to screw Don King over, man? What was his name? He was doing interviews.
That's why Luis is still ranked because he just fought. Luis came back.
I can't remember that dude's name, man. What's the dude's name? The one that he been on a tour talking about. How
I don't think he ain't fighting Michael Hunter. You talking about Michael Hunter?
Hunter, man. Remember Hunter and Pulev had a fight. Remember Don King won their purse bid.
Yeah, they were supposed to fight. That's why Don King ain't let him fight Big Baby Miller. So yeah, you right. They supposed to be lining that fight up.
Yeah, Hunter, man, he's a coward, bro. I don't know why he would do Don King like that. What you got for us, Brother Bernard?
What up, good brothers?
Brother B,
What
what's
y'all
up?
think as usual?
What's good, Coach?
Man, I see y'all covering y'all thing as usual, man. Y'all covering the fights that people want to see, or at least talking about the fights that people need to talk about.
That's what we do.
So let me ask you this though, and I've heard you say
Man, y'all
great things. Go ahead. I heard you say a lot of great things about Turkey, man. What you think about Dana White and Turkey trying to attack the Muhammad Ali Act?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I
said, what do you think about Turkey and Dana White kind of
BVO.
going after the Muhammad Ali? Can you hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's Coach B.
I think
Coach B might need to go out and come back in real quick to try to.
Yeah, I think some.
He must have supposed to.
Hey, B3, I hear you clear. I'm good.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, everybody good then.
So what he was saying was, how do you feel about Turkey and Dana White trying to get rid of the Muhammad Ali Act?
I think anytime you try to tear something down that benefits fighters, it's kind of it's difficult to see. But then when you think about it in this way, when you think about boxing, how many fighters do you think about if somebody mentioned boxing? And I'm just talking about the top guys or the guys you see that are doing consistent 10 rounders or stuff like that on TV. Not a lot. It's not a lot. When you think about the money earners, it's a small percentage of the big money earners. It's not every fighter you see is not making a bunch of money. And sometimes, even though I hate to say it, if you had some sort of league, like the NFL, the NBA, all of those have leagues, and those guys are flourishing as a league. Yeah, you got the superstars, but then you don't have a guy who's on the team, but he making $3,000 a week. I mean, so yeah, I mean, no, just keeping it a bean, man, keeping it a bean. Boxing has two things that kind of hurts it. One, there's a unknown draft, but there's no draft. The top tier promoters, they get the guys, and the guys rightfully are happy to get them because they can make your path in your career a lot smoother. Mm-hmm. But when you think about the disparagement of the money, it's like night and day. Mm-hmm. It's like night and day. Even if you look at the NFL, if you got a quarterback that's making $50 million a year, the last guy that's on the roster, he got a league minimum. Let's say the league minimum is $600,000. He's seeing $600,000. He ain't seeing $3,000. But that's the thing that we're missing in that piece of the boxing. I think with Turk everything he's been doing good, everything he's been doing for boxing has been a plus.
Mhm.
And we've been under a lot of different people over the years. Don King, we've been under the PBCs, the top ranks, the Golden Boys, all of these guys. And
Mhm.
it's never been
entire company. So
Thank you.
if you under a promotional banner, if a promotional company gets health insurance for his promotional banner, he has to have health insurance for everybody that's under that banner. They have to be
I
able
can
to
dig it.
provide health coverage for everybody. So if like Top Rank, let's say Top Rank has 600 fighters under their banner, they have to be able to provide health insurance for 600 fighters. That's not cheap. That's
No, it's not.
And it's
a
not
lot of money.
it's not feasible when you ain't making money with all 50 of them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I can dig it. You're right about that, man. But I'm with BVO. They got to figure out this healthcare thing, man. I
I
would
don't
like
know, but no, I think you kind of poo-pooing it. But man, health insurance is really important, dog.
No. But
Especially
listen,
if you get in your
BBO.
head.
Listen, I'm not saying it's not important. Listen to what I'm saying. If you come from a city, like the brother just said, the Blue Horizon. Let's say you know Miss Jones. Miss Jones is the lady who her and her husband for years had a small promotion company, but they would sign all the local dudes and put them on cards to help build their career.
Right.
Now you tell Miss Jones and her husband, who also work for the city in regular jobs, now you have 50 guys signed on to your promotion company. You must provide them health care. They dropping all but the 3 guys that potentially can make money back for them.
Oh,
They dropping them. And guess what they're going to do? They just going to call them. And when they offer them a fight, they're going to get 1 day health coverage. That's the night they fight on. Because that's all they can afford. Or you won't get no fights.
That's cold, man. I'll say this, brother. That makes perfect sense. I don't know why, even in the pros with football, I don't understand why dudes have to fight for healthcare, bro. I don't think people
Because the
understand.
cost of healthcare in the United States
it's
is
astronomical, bro.
astronomically blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like
They got
if you
free
go,
health care in damn Canada.
yeah, I'm about to say that. If you go to Canada, it's free health care there.
How the
They
hell
don't
they do
take-
that?
It ain't free. Let me back up. Let me say this. I also work for a labor union. It's not free because in Canada, that same Subway sandwich that's $11 here is $22 there.
Yeah, no.
Blend it for the whole economy to pay for everybody to have health care. They balance it out like that. Not that it's bad. I was just saying the concept of free is I moved to Canada, I'm good. Nah. You move to Canada and become a citizen of Canada. That same Big Mac that was $4 here might be $11 there.
Angie
Because you
Baby
go to
said
the doctor.
Canada is from the taxes.
Yeah,
And that's where the money come from, the taxes. That's why I said the sandwich price.
Well, I'd rather just not get a tax return than I'll trade that all day to get free health care all day.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. I love that question. Let's say you the irresponsible young man or the irresponsible young woman that got 5 kids and y'all living off government assistance. Now I'm the responsible young man, my sister the responsible young woman. Why in the hell should we have to take care of your kids?
Yeah.
Because
man, I get penalized because I'm responsible, and you get rewarded because you're irresponsible.
Welcome to being middle class in America, man.
No, I ain't talking about middle class. Every class.
Yeah,
listen, if you at the bottom but you responsible, you foot that bill just like everybody else.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this real quick because I get what you're saying, brother Mark. Because you a slick talker, man. I can't out talk you, but I've seen dudes have some serious injuries from football. Like I knew a guy, man, who needed to get his shoulder, his collarbone fixed, right? And he literally walked around until the doggone thing healed on its own because he couldn't get a doctor, bro.
Where was he playing football? BVO, where was he playing football?
At Ball State.
At Ball State. Listen to this. The university has health coverage and life insurance on you. They do. That guy fell into the coach trap. The coach says, are you hurt or are you injured? If you're hurt, you can sit down and we don't know when you'll make it back to the field. If you're injured, keep playing And if you're on scholarship, you keeping your scholarship. That's what they telling them. So that guy was playing hurt because he wanted to stay on the team. And he probably was the 19th guy off the bench. But he's the practice dummy. We understand college football. Let me explain something to you on college football. They have their roster. They have their scholarship guys. But then they have a slew of dudes who will never see the playing field. They are called crash dummies, your practice dummy. When you bring in this 6'6", 270-pound defensive end, and he's the All-American 5-star recruit, and you want to teach him how you want him to blow up the running back coming around the corner, that's what you gave them other 5 kids scholarship money for, to be crash dummies. More concussions happen in practice in college than happen on game day, because the guys that are practice dummies, guess what? They only get 1 jersey. They don't get 2. In college, you have a home jersey and an away jersey. Everybody can suit up at home, but they not carrying all y'all to an away game.
Well, now in college there is no excuse, because now the college players get paid, so they can pay for their own health care.
Let's back up on that one. Every college player is not getting NIL money.
That's a fact.
Listen here.
I'm not talking about everyone. I'm talking about the ones that make it to the field. I'm talking about the ones that make it to the field.
Listen what I'm saying. Every guy that makes it to the field ain't getting money. Every guy that makes it to the field
Coach
is
Bernard,
not getting money.
At I think it's Texas or one of them. If you make the squad, you make the team, everybody gets a brand new like Ford F1 pickup truck, which we know can come upwards to $100,000. So I would say that's
man, prize. That don't mean nothing. You go to the hospital, bro.
Man, if you cash that mug in.
Listen what I'm saying. That's Texas. That's SMU. That's the cash money states. We're talking about the guy at Appalachian State ain't getting a coin because he on the traveling team.
Yeah, he talking about, because when you talking about my dude at Ball State, Ball State didn't offer like Bowling Green health insurance for the practice squad guy.
Yeah, because once again, you're a crash dummy. Let's keep it real. First of all, I'm going to go back to blaming parents. Let me tell you why I'm blaming parents. Because some of these parents put a line out for it. And the line is not something that makes you a million either way, tax years, so I kept more of my money.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be dope.
I'm thinking about how I get paid.
Yeah, for
I'm thinking
sure.
about how my son keep his money. I'm thinking about how they keep their money.
Yeah.
That's the part
top tier young fighters in the super welterweight division, and their styles are seen as complementary for a competitive fight. And then it goes on. You should read this stuff, brother B. This is
I read
pretty
it.
much what you've been saying.
Shout out to my nemesis, Bill Haney. You know, we still